Hi, I'm Victoria Negri. I am the writer-director of Gold Star, and this is the Hot Set. Let me try not to be a spaz in this interview. If I start to veer towards spastic, just
run with it. How about like a little synopsis of like the general...
Yeah, so it's called Gold Star. It's about Vicky, who's in her mid-20s. She's a music school dropout, and she's forced to move home to Connecticut to take care of her father, who had this dream for her that she doesn't believe in and she doesn't want to follow, to be a classical pianist.
How did you find yourself in directing?
I always wanted to direct. When I was little, I'd run around the house with a camera and like make my brother and sister and I do like stupid, I don't know, like make stuff up and pretend we were pirates in the backyard. So I knew I always wanted to do it, but I didn't know, it just seemed so distant from me. I felt like, oh well, I'll get to a certain stage in life and then I will decide to, alright, well now I'm going to direct. I was kind of naive and stupid, and I thought, well, I'll be one of those actors that is in so many movies that they can just be like, now I'm directing. And that happens for what, like 2 people? And I always knew I wanted to write something about my father also, because I had a very unusual relationship with him because he was 63 years old when I was born, so it was very unique and different. And then in 2011, my father had a stroke, and it just absolutely devastated me and shook me up and scared me because he couldn't speak or eat or move much at all for the last year of his life. He was in ICU for many months, and then he came home. All throughout this time, I started writing a new screenplay just about my relationship with him. And it just kept evolving, like as my life and my experiences with him changed in that year, the script kept changing, and it was a way for me to cope with things, to distance myself from it, to think about everything, and then I decided I'm just gonna make this movie. I knew in the back of my head I wanted to direct it, but I was just terrified to say that because I felt like my whole life, oh well, you have to know these things to be a director. There's something I don't know that all these people know that I can't do. And I just kept somehow convincing myself of that. And then my father passed away, so he had the stroke in September 2011, and then he passed away in November 2012. And I was like, you know what? What do I have to be afraid of? There's nothing scary. I mean, it's intimidating to direct, but like, losing my dad was much more terrifying and horrible for me. I was like, well, what's the worst that can happen? If someone's gonna screw this movie up, I would rather have it be me than somebody else because it means so much to me.
Here's a profile view of me.
Get the full body shot.
Full body shot.
Pose.
Once I decided I was going to make this, I had no idea how I was going to do it, and I was like, I need to meet with people. I need to get coffee with every single person I know that can give me advice, and I need producers. I knew we could make it for a really low budget because I was going to shoot in Connecticut. We used my house for most of the locations. I got lucky enough to shoot in a hospital. We had great production value for very little cost, so I knew I could shoot it very low budget. There weren't setbacks as much as it was just frustrating trying to fund a movie with no proof that I can make a movie. That was the most difficult thing. Like, what have you done before? Show us your directing reel. Well, I don't have one. All right, well then, bye. You know, it wasn't easy, but I trusted myself and knew that I could do it. And you know, no one's gonna work harder than you are on your own movie. Nobody. So I have that to my advantage. I just worked like a dog. It was just every single possible angle I can figure out how to get money. I was like, please, I believe in this movie, here's what it could look like. it's not a multi-million-dollar. I'm not, you know, I've never tried to be naive. I've always tried to, I just want to make a good movie. So I'm really happy that we pushed and we shot this past September. Man, when I think about it, it's like my dad died, and then I remember I had a Skype meeting like 5 days later about the film. I was like, I'm doing this.
With the look for the movie, what kind of look did you ultimately give it? Like, did you want it kind of like a homey kind of like feel, or did you
No,
want,
I
like,
actually
slice
wanted it
of
like
life,
kind
or?
of cold feel. I wanted the inside of the house to feel, and I talked about this in much more depth with my cinematographer, Sorrow. I had tons of conversations with him, like so endless. He was on the film for 1.5 years before we ended up shooting. So we really developed this like language of how, you know, we wanted the film to look, and talked about it endlessly, swapping notes and talking about movies and things like that. I wanted the inside of the house to feel, the interiors to feel claustrophobic, and then the exteriors to feel more, you know, like the characters can't hold on to anything. Like it's much more expansive, and they can't. It feels more endless almost. This contrast of these like possibilities, because my character's very overwhelmed in her house, and she feels trapped in Connecticut, and then when she's outside, it's almost too much and overwhelming because she has no idea what she wants to do with her life. Like, we were thinking about everything, and then, you know, more tripod lockdown to go with that like trapped feel to it, and then where there's moments where there is handheld, it punches out more as this kind of, you know, raw, emotional, the characters aren't prepared for this moment situation. You know, we're hanging out, me and Robert Vaughn, just shooting it, and he said, you know, you're like a young Orson Welles, and I was like, well, oh, thank you, and he goes, I was so lucky with my career that someone believed in me and gave me a shot and recommended me to work on things, and he's like, and I want to do that for you, I, you know, believe in this, and it was just like, it came out of nowhere, but it also meant so much to me that, because he's very stoic, he's this very, stoic face, but he's such a kind person, and that meant a lot. But from that point on, I was just like, well, he's my movie dad. He's just my movie dad. But yeah, that was special, because I remember growing up watching him in the Magnificent Seven with my dad loved cowboy movies, so it was just very like weird. This guy that my dad loved in this movie playing a part based off of him, telling me that he believes in me. It was special. That was like a really amazing moment for me. It was cool. It didn't feel like work to me, because so much preparation went into it. And looking back at it, I'm like, how was I functioning? How was I not absolutely exhausted? But I was just so excited to be there every day. I couldn't believe it was happening. It was surreal as it was happening. I still can't believe it's done. It was a joy to work on. I want people to see the film. That is so important to me. Like, why make a movie if no one's gonna watch it? So for me now, it's how do I get those viewers in a market that's so oversaturated with a billion indie movies, because everyone can pick up a camera and do what I did and shoot really low budget and submit to festivals. No, I don't think I'm gonna just up and quit, because the process is what has been so enjoyable for me. Like, I spent a ton of money on the film. Like, I'm an investor in the film. I spent a lot of money just to make it, and I'm so happy. So I like, I'm not gonna stop. I love working hard, and I'm trying to think of something I need to write now. Like, I want to come up with a new idea, so that I could say to people, you know, if anyone's interested when Gold Star comes out, what are you working on? Then I have an answer. But no, I'm too stubborn. I'm too stubborn to like ever stop.
Hi, Vicki, this is Mom. I'm at the hospital with Dad. We had to rush him in. I don't really have much I can tell you. He was having trouble breathing. He couldn't tell me what was happening, so I brought him in. The doctors are with him now. I'm in the waiting room waiting for the call me in. Do me a favor, can you call as soon as you can? I don't know if I'll get a signal from the room, so I'll keep checking back. If I don't pick up, just leave me a voicemail. All right. I'll see you soon. Love you lots. Bye.